Hello, dear friends. The old system is dying, and the new one is taking shape. The world is about to discover which of both will survive. Opinion piece. Transition to greatness. Major event. World stage. Turbulence prevails. Plan to save the world. A biblical scenario is looming. Not everything is a conspiracy. It will all happen before our very eyes. Financial and technological revolution. Let's start. A large-scale biblical scenario is looming, where they would simulate the Third World Party, but in reality they would activate prosperity funds and the reconstruction of the world, according to JFK Jr. This would be the largest global operation in the history of the planet. Now, they would only have to stage a false war scenario to sound the sirens in all the command centers. This would serve to justify many things that have already happened, such as the continued existence of the Gisara law, secret courts, confessions, etc. The announced grand event has many facets. A global blackout to switch to Tesla energy, the disconnection of media satellites, and a new financial system protected by secret space programs beyond the reach of the cabal. This global media blackout will connect us to quantum systems. Globally, planes and trains would cease operating. Electricity would be temporarily cut off in certain areas, and the stock market would crash. Bitcoin servers would be deactivated, and ISO 20022 cryptocurrencies backed by precious metals would arrive, according to JFK Jr. This would cause the stock market to collapse. It's all a show, accompanied by the replacement of central bank notes with rainbow treasury bonds, backed by precious metals, not oil or wars. All of this is happening before our eyes. Take a look at all the global maneuvers that are taking place. As Ron Code Mankiewicz mentioned, Odin project is part of the Starlink network and is a powerful tool for eliminating illegal platforms. 10 countries would operate the EBS emergency transmission system to cover the entire world. Those responsible for any election manipulation would be held accountable. Financial system. On January 27, 2026, Executive Order 14,201 on digital financial technology was signed. The media said it was about Bitcoin. It wasn't. Hidden in Section 7 is an authorization for a gold-backed settlement system operated by the Treasury, completely bypassing the Federal Reserve. They called it a digital asset pool. Experts called it QFS, the famous gold-backed quantum financial system that is impossible to hack. Every illegal transaction is recorded, and money cannot be printed out of thin air. When paper money is once again backed by gold, the paper empire will collapse overnight. There will be nowhere to hide. That's why they are fighting with everything they have. It's not about hateful words. It's about $23 trillion in stolen wealth that they refuse to return. The gold is already moving. $4.8 billion in gold transferred to COMEX vaults in New York, the largest single transfer in history. The Fort Knox audit was quietly authorized by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent to ensure the gold is there. Fort Knox was last audited 72 years ago. Since then, there has been no audit, no verification, no independent confirmation, only trust. The consequences could be enormous if that door is opened and the answer made public. Everything could change. Transition. According to this perspective, the old financial system built on debt, money creation, and trust in institutions is coming to an end, challenged by the idea of a new framework based on transparency, accountability, and tangible assets. This would mark the end of money created out of thin air and the beginning of a different financial era, in which every banknote would be backed by real value and every transaction could be accounted for. This transition represents one of the biggest financial shifts in modern history. The future is not guaranteed. It is something we build together when we choose freedom over fear, unity over division, and purpose over conflict, remaining steadfast and committed to something larger than ourselves. Excuse me. Conspiracies. Not everything is a conspiracy, but it is interesting how the same names appear every time you start to follow the trail of money, power, and silence. The deeper you dig, the less random things begin to seem. Connections emerge where none existed before. Interests overlap. The narrative shifts. Facts are reframed, and truth is revealed. Questions are asked before they are even asked. Repeat the phrase. Questions are asked before they are even asked. Perhaps it's all a coincidence. Perhaps every decision, every association, every outcome is exactly what it appears to be. But history has a habit of reminding us that the most important stories are rarely understood in real time. They are understood years later, when enough pieces have come to light to reveal the picture that was always there. The truth isn't always hidden behind closed doors or classified files. More often, it's buried under noise, distraction, and the comfort of accepted explanations. Most people don't ignore the truth because they don't see it. They ignore it because looking more closely forces them to question things they had rather lived unquestioned. That's why the most valuable thing isn't information, it's perspective, the ability to step back and observe recurring patterns, the ability to ask who benefits, who gains influence, who controls the narrative, and why certain topics seem untouchable while others dominate every conversation, like football. You don't have to believe every theory. You don't have to distract every you are told. Simply remain curious. Stay observant. Pay attention to what changes, what remains the same, and who is still at the center of it all. Because sometimes the loudest pronouncements are distractions, and sometimes the most revealing answer is the silence that follows a simple question. New era. We stand on the threshold of a new era. Every generation is called upon to answer a question that transcends it. What kind of world will we leave for those who come after us? Our answer must be guided not by fear, but by freedom, not by division, but by unity, not by the limitation of the past, but by the possibilities of the future. Freedom is the inherent right of every human being. It is the right to speak openly, to practice any religion freely, to build a life through honest work, and to pursue dreams without oppression. Freedom is not merely a political principle. It is the foundation of human dignity. Sovereignty is not believing that our country is better than all others. It is the commitment to make our country worthy of its ideals. It is the courage to serve, to sacrifice, and to put the common good before personal gain. A strong society is built with strong citizens, strong communities, and strong families. New world. The world is changing faster than ever before in human history. New technologies connect continents in seconds. New ideas cross borders instantly. New generations demand transparency, accountability, and opportunity. The future belongs to those who embrace innovation without abandoning timeless values. We must build a new world based on cooperation instead of conflict, opportunity instead of privilege, and human potential instead of division. A single country cannot solve all the challenges we face, such as economic uncertainty, environmental pressures, and social fragmentation. A shared vision and a shared purpose are required to solve all problems. The financial systems of tomorrow must serve human beings, not the other way around. The purpose of an economy is not simply to create wealth, but to create opportunities. Every family deserves the opportunity to save, invest, start a business, own a home, and bequeath security to the next generation. Economic freedom should not be the privilege of a few, but the promise within everyone's reach. The new financial world must be built on trust, transparency, innovation, and fairness. It must reward creativity and hard work while protecting the dignity of every individual. Technology can become a powerful force for prosperity if guided by wisdom and ethical responsibility. But no system, no institution, and no technology can replace the power of character. The future will ultimately be determined by the values we choose to uphold. The foundation upon which lasting progress is built is courage, service, integrity, and accountability. The future is not something that happens to us. The future is something we create ourselves. Our ideas, our determination, and our faith in what is possible will define the coming century. Let us reject the politics of fear and embrace the politics of possibility. Let us build strong nations because they are free. Let us build prosperous economies because they are fair. Let us build united communities because they respect the dignity of every human being. Let us move forward with confidence into a new era of freedom, innovation, responsibility, and hope. The most important chapters in the history of humanity have never been written by those who accepted the world as it was. They were written by those who imagined what it could become. The future is calling us. Let us answer that call together. Spiritual warfare. This solstice marks a high point that extends throughout the summer. In this year of the fire horse, the heat is scorching. The landscape can no longer be ignored, not even for those who mature late and are forced to confront a harsh awakening. The inner emptiness cries out more loudly despite the distractions of spiritual warfare. The intensity will increase. This solstice sets the rhythm of the year and accelerates the process. Collective events intensify, but the energy of freedom is for the entire planet. Fireworks explode, but the ether is transforming a greater change. Light is powerful because it carries truth. As the saying goes, the truth will set you free. We are in the energy of freedom to become sovereign beings, ready to navigate this quantum realm. But first, many must be purged. Those who carry old programs and dense energies cannot experience higher timelines. They repel each other like magnets. They were denied entry to a sacred temple for wearing dirty clothes. This is the inner work. The spiritual wars intensified as the dark forces need the human spoils. Parasites and mining plants steal manifestations. People reject the best, choosing undesirable paths under the illusion of free will, which leads to harsher lessons. Many still need to work on their shadow, especially those who believe nothing is wrong. The frequency cannot be faked. Social appearances fail. True nature comes to light. Emotions surface. Relationships change. Old patterns fade. And clarity prevails. Illumination. Alignment now is illumination. What aligns strengthens, and what doesn't align falls away. The light has reached its peak, and the revelations are undeniable. In the midst of chaos, observe your inner self and your outer reflection. Turbulence prevails, but there is still havens of peace. Healing miracles, abundance and synchronicity are happening. Peace, love and calm in nature. A sunset, meditation, a simple walk. These moments are important. Knowing that time is accelerating and that we can slow it down is an art. Feeling that the flow state lasts 8 hours, as if only one has passed, means you have aged only a year, especially in terms of joy. This year flew by. Cellular regeneration is powerful. It alkalizes, regenerates, and provides negative ions to lengthen telomeres. Everything is unlocked for activated starseeds, and the sky expands. Your next level activation is coming. No rush. New missions await you. Everything will become a dream come true. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.